Okay, hello dear students. Okay, in our computer science today, we are going to learn the difference when we save a notepad file, that is a text file, and when we save a word file, that is a docs file. Okay, we're going to see the difference. You see, this is a doc document file. Okay, we can use maybe Microsoft Word in it. And then we have the text files in which we use editors like Notepad and WordPad. So you see, we have been told text files contain only the ASCII equivalent of the contents of the file. Okay, so when we have a text file, for example, we have Notepad. Let me show you Notepad. So we have this our Notepad file. Okay, so when we maybe write a text here that this is our computer science class activity 2.1. We will learn how to store text in both a text editor and a doc file, that is a document file. Okay, you can also add I enjoy CS because it gives lots of real-time apps. Now you see the way it is written here, these string values we have here, this is how it will be stored. There won't be anything else. These 4 lines plus this one white space here, okay, this blank line, this is the white space here, and we also count this. So this is just how it will be stored. No any other information will be stored. Let's give it a name, my notepad CS file. Okay, we have given it this name, and the 4 lines here plus this blank white space line has been stored. Simple. No any other information is going to be stored in this. Okay, so you see the text files contain only the ASCII equivalent of the contents. So whatever it will convert, it is going to only contain those equivalent. It will convert every character into a binary, and that's all. But whereas a docs file contains many additional information like the author's name, page settings, font type and size, date of creation and modification. Now when we store the same data that we stored in the notepad file, when we store it in a .docx file, it will also add information like the author's name, who is the author of that file, who wrote that file, the settings of the page, something like is it in landscape, is it in portrait, does it have a border, also the font type and the size, when we created that file and when we next updated it. All these informations are going to be stored in the file as well. So now let's look at this activity 2.1. It says, create a text file using Notepad and write your name and save it. Now create a docs file using Microsoft Word and write your name and save it as well. Check and compare the file size of both the files. You will find that the size of .txt file is in bytes. Okay, it will be in bytes. Whereas that of the .docx, which is a Microsoft Word file, will be in KBs, that is in kilobytes. Okay, so we just made a, remember we just had this file. I'm going to create 2 files here. You ought to watch very carefully. I will first create a notepad file, type in data, save it, and then the same data will be used in a Microsoft Word file, save it. Okay, and then we will compare the size. So this is our notepad file. Okay, we are going to create this file. Look at the data we have stored here. I'm going to copy this data. It's 4 lines, isn't it? And we have stored it as my notepad CS file. Now this same data is going to be stored in a Microsoft Word file. Now this is a Microsoft Word file. The same data that I used in the notepad file, I have pasted it here. It's the same. No additions, no subtractions, the same one blank line in the middle. Now we are going to store this as well. Let us save it. my, okay, my notepad file. But this is going to be in a docs file now. So let us see. Now we have stored this also. Now let us see both the two files. What is the size of both the files with the same data? Now the two files that we have created and stored, the Microsoft Word file, which is a .doc, okay, a .doc, it is stored in 12 KB. Okay, we said it will be stored in kilobytes. And then we have the Notepad file, okay, which is stored in 1 KB. Now there is a difference of 11 KB. Why? Can anyone think of this? See, it's a simple theory. The Notepad file contains only those 4 lines of data, nothing else. But the Microsoft Word file contains the page settings, the name of the author, okay, the font size, the font type, all these extra details. That is why it has a larger size. And we said that the text document, the text file is stored in bytes. So can you see it is showing 180 bytes. Okay, 180 bytes. That is a text file. And then we have the docs file, which has 11.8 KB. This is the main difference. You have to understand this. This is our activity 2. A text file using Notepad stores the document in bytes, while a Microsoft Word file, which is a docs file, stores the document in KBs. I hope this is well clear enough. This is where it has been mentioned once more. Let me show you. So you see, you got to remember this, that Notepad file, okay, and then we have the Microsoft Word file. The Notepad file will be a text file. It is stored in bytes. And then the Microsoft Word file, which is a docs file, will be stored in KBs, which are kilobytes. Okay.